up, friends? Happy New Year. I hope you are doing fantastic. In today's video, we're going to look at 10 books that I am dying to read in 2018. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you want videos about children's literature, about teaching reading, about writing, about life inside of an elementary classroom, click that little subscribe button down below. If you click that bell, you get an email anytime I upload a new video. I have in front of me 10 2018 novels for kids, mostly middle grade, maybe one or two young adults sprinkled in here that I'm dying to read this year. All right, so first off is Liesl Shurtliff's Grump. It is the 4th book in this series. It started with Rump, the true story of Rumpelstiltskin, which my students are loving. They are loving Rump, they are loving Jack, they are loving Red, and I cannot wait to introduce them to Grump. One of my students has actually been listening to the audio of Rump as she follows along, and she just would swear by how amazing the audio is. So check that out. Grump comes out in May of 2018. I can't wait to read it. The next one is You Go First by Erin and Entrada Kelly. I'm really excited to read this. I've read some of Erin's books in the past. Blackbird Fly I absolutely loved, and I'm really excited to read this one. I know absolutely nothing about it. I know nothing that, I don't know anything, but I know that this name means great book, so I'm looking forward to reading it. It comes out in April of 2018. Can't wait to read this. Next up is The Truth as Told by Mason Buttle. It's by Leslie Connor. I absolutely love The Honorable Perry T. Cook. It was one of my absolute favorite 2016 novels. A bunch of kids in my class have read it this year in my 5th grade classroom, and they are loving it. I'm dying to read this book. Doesn't it look beautiful? Look at that cover. I'm so excited. Thinking about the books that I picked for this video, I know very little about any of the books. And it just makes me really think about how important it is to find authors that we love. Because pretty much every book in this pile, looking at it, every book in this pile is because of my respect for the author and my love of their writing and their stories. So, interesting tidbit. This one comes out in January. I want to read it. I need to read this before break. This needs to be next. I need to read Mason Buttle. All right, next up is Granted by John David Anderson. Number 1, the cover is phenomenal. Number 2, John David Anderson is phenomenal. Number 3, there's a dog. I also love one-word titles. I never thought about that, but I do. I love like Wish Tree and York and I don't know. Think about, if you know any other great one-word titles, leave them in the comments below. Granted, February. Oh, I should put these in like order of timeline to make sure I read them in order. Next up, Voices in the Air, Poems for Listeners by Naomi, Shihab, Nye. I love Naomi's work. And she's an amazing person. She's a part of the Creativity Project, which is a book that I put together with 44 or 40 plus, I think it's 44, 40 plus amazing human beings. And Naomi was one of the greatest people ever to work with. Everyone was amazing to work with. I really loved working with her. I can still remember the email I got from her last year on New Year's Day with her piece from the Creativity Project. And she's just so nice. And her writing is phenomenal, one of the greatest poets of our time. I'm really excited to read this. Next up, my son has already read this book 3 or 4 times. It came in the mail, I think, yesterday. It is the 4th Hilo book, and he says that it's the best Hilo book. He said it's amazing. He's annoyed that I haven't read it yet. I know that if I don't read this before winter break is over, that I'm going to have 0 chance to read it before spring break because my students are going to be fighting over this. My son turns 11 on Tuesday, January 2nd. I'm filming this end of December. I'm not even sure the date. But at his birthday party, he's inviting 2 of his best buddies, and they're huge Hilo fans. So I really need to read it before then so I can give it to those 2 students so that we can get those 2 students to read it before winter break is over because the line is going to be long. All right, next up, Smart Cookie by Elly Swartz. Her first book, Finding Perfect, was absolutely phenomenal. Elly's just an amazing human being. She's super nice. She's super fun. I love seeing her at conferences. She's just so positive and wonderful and amazing, and I just keep using all those words. I've heard really good things about this book from the Nerdy Nation, the Nerdy Book Club community, and people are saying nothing but amazing things. My wife's aunt, Suzanne Gibbs, loves this book. She's going to write a review for Nerdy Book Club, and she just was going on and on and on. She wanted to borrow my copy to review because one of her students was reading her copy in class, and she just wanted to reread it again because she loved this book so much. I need to read Smart Cookie. Next up, The Problim Children by Natalie Lloyd. You notice that there's this problem isn't spelled correctly. makes me think, what is that all about? Anyways, I'm really excited to read this book. Natalie's Snicker of Magic was one of the greatest books of the last decade. Absolutely amazing book. My teaching partner, Suzanne Woolworth, loves that book with all of her heart. I'm going to actually let her read this book right when we go back from break. This comes out in February. This comes out in January. I don't know if I said that. February. I don't know. Maybe it's already out. I'll look it up. But yeah, I'm going to give this to Suzanne Woolworth, my teaching partner, because she is one of the greatest teachers I know, and she loves Natalie Lloyd. Next up is Secret Coders. My son also devoured this book and loved it. This series is phenomenal. Computer science is amazing. Kids need to read more books like this. I love this series. I actually have some 4th graders who I taught last year in 3rd grade who I'm probably going to give this to. And I know some of my 5th graders watch my YouTube videos. Hi, I hope you're having a nice winter break. But I'm going to give this to the 4th graders first. So I'm sorry. I hope that you still love me. Next up. Oh! The 10th and final book that I'm dying to read in 2018. And actually I'm dying to read like about 50, but these are the 10 that I had lying around my house. Is Loser's Bracket by Crutcher. And I have a confession to make. Please don't judge me. I've never read one of Chris's books. When I just looked down in shame, I think my camera stopped recording. I don't know if that's like a function, like when the person recording has tremendous shame that it stops recording, or if it was like a... I think we're good now. It turns out there's no shame auto shut off feature on my camera. Samsung, you should figure that out though. That would be amazing. I was just out of space. So the book that... what are we talking about? Oh, I've never read one of Chris's books, and that's silly and ridiculous. And I'm going to read Loser's Bracket because, number 1, there's a basketball hoop on the cover. Number 2, Chris is amazing from what all of my friends have said. Number 3, I've heard Chris speak multiple times at conferences, and mostly I think at NCTE, and every time it's phenomenal, and every time I leave thinking, I need to read this man's books. He is amazing. So, friends, if you are done judging me, thank you for that. I'm sorry that I haven't read any of Chris's books. That is absolutely ridiculous. I want to know what you're excited to read in 2018. I'm excited to read these and a whole bunch of other books. Please leave a comment below and let me know what books you are excited to read in 2018. It is going to be a wonderful year for kids. It's going to be a fantastic year for readers, and I cannot wait to dive into these books. But even more than that, I cannot wait to talk with you about them online. I cannot wait to talk to my students about them in my classroom, and I can't wait to see you at conferences and talk to you about these books there. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. Subscribe, like, comment, all of those things that people on YouTube tell you to do, or Facebook, or wherever you're watching this video. It really does mean the world to me, and it helps get this video out to more people, and let more people see it. And we can continue to spread the love of children's literature, because we know that books change lives. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and happy, happy reading.